it's the Power Couple, and today I'll be discussing / analyzing the episode Derision. But before I do, you guys are probably wondering, why did I disappear for so long? Well, firstly, I was in a musical, and for the first 2 weeks, it was a really intense rehearsal practice, and then the following week, we had a bunch of performances. Then I decided to take a little break because, it was spring break and I was completely exhausted. My energy was drained to the max. And during that break, my phone just happened to, I don't know, it just broke and it wasn't charging anymore. So then, my parents had to wait to save up the money to buy myself a new phone. So here I am, back at it with you guys, and do not worry, do not think I have abandoned you. I didn't, and I won't ever, and that's a promise. But without further ado, let's get into episode Derision, and yes, I do know I'm going a little bit out of order here. So we start off the episode in which Adrian actually calls Marinette and she wakes up, and they're just talking about how they're gonna go on, their official first date, and they're both very excited. But when Marinette goes to hang up the phone, she has a 5-second panic attack / flashback of her locker. And we don't understand why yet until later in the episode, so keep this in mind. So anyway, she goes and meets Adrian at the pool and they go in hand. Now, as you all know, I'm very excited to see this because I have wasted 7 years of my life hoping, praying, and dreaming that this would happen, and I finally get it. So, well done, Adrianette, we have won. However, Marinette starts to suffer more from her panic attacks / flashbacks, and this causes her to run off, abandoning Adrian at the pool. But then Kim steps in and starts explaining, and that's when the story begins to unravel. So she runs off, and then she is almost akumatized by Monarch. But then she somehow manages to gather her strength to pull herself together and figure out, why is this happening and why is she losing control of her being? And I'm very proud of her for doing that because not all of us have the strength to do this. I certainly don't. So it appears that it started last year with Chloe's bullying, and I don't know if I would call it bullying, more like abusement, since she finds cockroaches one day in her locker, and then she sort of slips on a bucket, and I'm gonna go with she passed out because since the principal said classes started 10 minutes ago, that was way more than 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna say maybe she passed out for a little bit, considering she landed flat face on the floor. So genuinely, I feel bad for her. And then Chloe sort of ruined her pants, and now she got 3 hours of detention on Saturday for that one. That wasn't even her fault. Luckily, So Clean was there to sort of back off Chloe, but we all know that wasn't a permanent solution, so it was nice to see how So Clean stood up for Marinette in the past and how Marinette's character progressed in the future. But it also gives us a good detail of what her life was before we got to know the Marinette we know today. And right after this, we discover that Marinette has a crush, I quote and unquote, on Kim. Now, I don't think it really was a crush, more like she confused, love at first sight with, how could I say this? When people joke around, I don't know, my brain is not working right now. Anyway, and she has the guts to go ask him. You go, girl, I could have never done that. So she goes on her, I don't want to call it a date, but I'm going to say date, in quotes, with Kim, and they have a good time until he gives her, in a jewelry box, spiders, and of course she's terrified, so then she falls off the diving board and plunges into the pool. Now, you may say, why is this not as important? Obviously, falling from the diving board is never fun, but I'm just gonna bring in a little safety concerns about this because, for one, that was probably like the highest diving board of the pool, which is around a good 30 feet. Now, if you fall the wrong way in 30 feet, especially in water, it can result in injuries. So, Marinette could have been badly physically hurt from this. Obviously, she was emotionally hurt. Who wouldn't be? But she could have been physically hurt too, and who knows how bad it could have been. So while that all happened, Chloe just happened to be there, and Sabrina was the one filming for her. Talk about a bully, Jesus. This girl was really out to get Marinette. Luckily, Soclean destroyed the phone, removing any chance Chloe had of posting it on social media, and I think we all could assume what would have happened if Chloe had done that, so thank goodness Soclean was there to step in. However, in the process of helping Marinette, Chloe, of course, used her manipulation and power, because, her father's the mayor of Paris, to suspend Soclean for the last 2 weeks of school, so she would have missed out on some sort of class meeting and prom, which some of you, my school doesn't do prom, but I'm sure for some of you, prom is a really big deal, so that was such a shame. But she did leave Marinette with words of advice, which I'm sure she took into account the year after, which is what we're seeing now. Before I move on, I just want to give a big shout out to Soclean. She really stepped up in this episode and showed us the bravery one can have when standing up against someone else who is cruel or is doing something wrong against someone you love. It really displays that. And I do enjoy how it displays Marinette and Soclean's relationship last year, especially when Marinette was being so bullied and abused, I'll say, by Chloe, because I think the level of cruelty that Chloe was displaying on Marinette surpasses the bully standpoint and is moving more towards the abusive. But I did enjoy that it shows why she acted so awkward around Adrian and knew everything about him, because that's unresolved trauma, and that's how, believe it or not, some people deal with it. And I can speak on a personal level that I also have unresolved trauma, and it shows up in ways that I've never expected. So give a shout out to the writers as well, because this is something that kids deal with on a day-to-day basis, yet no one talks about it. So I'm very grateful to the writers who decided to put this in and show us what it's really like, especially from like a young age or teenage standpoint. Anyway, back to the episode. We then see, while that was all happening, Adrian was hearing Kim's version of the story. I'm pretty sure it's quite similar, but he is angry. I would not want to mess with Adrian right now when he were angry, because he's having a little bit of an angry boyfriend moment here, which it's good to see that people can get on his nerves, and he is not willing to let anyone hurt the love of his life. But it also has its consequences, considering he's cat noir and can be a bit rational at times. So then Kim gets akumatized because his friends don't see his point of view, and to be fair, that is completely justified, because Kim, he's not the one who thinks about the consequences of his actions. So then Marinette transforms into Ladybug, Adrian transforms into Cat Noir. However, he is super rageful against Kim, considering he just learned that he hurt the woman of his dreams. So yeah, that can be expected. And he almost cataclysmed him. Another person to add to that list. Anyway, so Ladybug does her lucky charm and gets a toilet. Well, I think it's a toilet. If you guys think it's anything else, please let me know in the comments, because I would like to know. but a toilet is quite creative and weird for this one. So then Ladybug pretends to be hit by one of Dark Humor's arrows, so like wicked humor, and then she just pretty much fools him in like the most funniest way, with that being a toilet on his head. So then, she beats him, miraculous ladybug, the magical charm, yada yada, all that good stuff. So then Kim apologizes, and I don't really buy it because it's more like he was forced to do it, but I guess we'll let this slide just this once. But don't think I'm not gonna think about it, Kim. Anyway, so then Marinette like briefly explains to Adrian of what she can, of why she acts like this, and Adrian also says that he's scared too. Scared of someone else hurting her, scared of that he might accidentally hurt her, that he loses her. And that's understandable because he doesn't want to lose her, because they're soulmates. They would never want to do that. And the look he gives her just speaks to me as, you are my one true love. And even though Marinette understands that Adrian would never, ever intentionally hurt her, she's still afraid. And she tries to hold his hand, but, healing from that trauma is going to take a little bit of time and, for them to get comfortable around one another. So it makes sense, but it is a little sad to see, but I'm glad they're making progress, especially in character development. And then we get this gorgeous end card, and I apologize that I was unable to move the subtitles at the bottom, but I hope you still get the gist and feeling of the end card. So then we get this lovely after credit scene where Adrian confronts Chloe after learning what she did to Marinette in the previous year of school, and asks her politely to apologize to Marinette. However, Chloe, being Chloe, refuses to do this and gives a brief explanation of why she won't do that to Marinette or to anyone really, because all she will ever care for is herself, and that she wants Adrian to be hers, which we all know, zero chance of that happening. So then Adrian, thank goodness, ends his friendship with Chloe once and for all. Way to go, Adrian. He is really on Marinette's side because he probably knows that she has a difficult time being with people who are friends with Chloe. So he did it on behalf of her and for himself too. That'll do him really good. So I'm really proud of Adrian. And that's the end of the episode. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It was quite heavy to take in, I'm not gonna lie, but we needed this episode. I just wished it could have come sooner to explain Marinette's creepy stalking, and most of us criticized her for that. And well, I didn't really. I just found it strange, and now knowing the truth behind all that, it does make me feel a little bit guilty, and I'm sure other Miraculars are feeling that as well. Nevertheless, it was a very much needed episode, and it just filled in the gaps that were missing for the past 7 years. I do like how it was written, so well done to the script writers. It was a very well written and well played episode, especially with the animation, and it just had me sitting at the edge of my seat, wondering what was going to happen and how everything was going to play out. So I did enjoy it. And now I want to put it to you all. What did you think of the episode? Like it? Hate it? Didn't really enjoy it? Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear your opinions of what you thought of these episodes, especially as they are getting more and more intense, and how we're feeling about watching Miraculous now, knowing it was not what we thought we were going to sign up for back in the past maybe 2 to 7 years. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button. And I send my infinite love to you all. And I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye!